Hi, my name is George Zunza. I play the chief of the boat on the film called The Crimson Tide. And I'll be taking you through the submarine into various places and things that you have not ordinarily seen before. You're going to be able to see things that will shock you, that might make you smile, and others that will just make you understand the difficult nature of what it is like to be underwater for long, long periods of time. I hope you have a good time. I'll see you in a little bit.
We shoot 6.
We shot 5, and you got 3, 4, and 5 on A, and 3 and 4 was your best on B.
3, 4, 3, 4, and 5 are great.
So 3 twice, 4.
The most expeditious way of covering stuff like this is by using several cameras. Yeah, so we've got cameras on the floor. Tap in the video, put the housing on. Let's go. We've got 4 cameras back here. It's time-consuming setting each setup, so it's better if you cover it with several cameras. So yeah, give me like a 180 there. I'll do a second 180 here. Yeah, because Gene's looking forward all the time. Yeah, straight on to Gene. So you're on. Hey, no, dude, give me it flat. Give me 2-dimensional. Yeah, give me a. No, on Gene, a flat on, full face, frontal. And then I'm coming around. I'm around here on Denzel. Yeah, you're on the 180 here, man. Yeah.
Yes, it's covered on over Gene.
What's really interesting about this picture, that the 3 most powerful men in the world are the president of this country, the head of Russia, and the commander of a nuclear submarine. He is sitting on 24 nuclear missiles. The destruction in one missile is more than we've ever used combined in all the wars since the beginning of time, including the bombs that were dropped on Japan. So these are lethal killing machines. And one man controls it all.
We have a properly formatted emergency action message from National Command Authority for strategic missile launch, Cap.
I concur, sir. Get the authenticator.
Denzel Washington plays a character who comes on as the number 2 in command on the boat, and the number 1 in command is Gene Hackman. And they're basically from 2 schools. One's the new guy. He's experienced, but he went to Harvard. Hackman, of course, is from the old school. They respect each other enormously, and they've heard of each other. And in fact, Hackman picked him off a list.
As you no doubt heard, my XO has appendicitis. I need a good man to fill his spot. Your name was at the top of the list.
Oh, that's good to know, sir.
It was a short list.
It's an interesting kind of project to work on in that trying to make drama out of moments when you're speaking on a intercom.
Gentlemen, this is the captain. Russian rebels have threatened to launch against our country and are fueling right now. They will have launch capability in 60 minutes.
This state of high crisis, we're about to fire, and as we're about to fire, we get a second message that gets interrupted because our sub gets attacked.
God, radio, receiving emergency action message. Recommend alert 1. Recommend alert 1.
The second message might have called off the first, but now we don't know what to do.
Sir, this is an EAM pertaining to nuclear missile.
No, Mr. Hunter, that's a message fragment.
And we don't know whether we're supposed to push the button or not. Well, Gene Hackman's character, Ramsey, wants to push the button, and my character doesn't, and the sparks fly.
Now, if you notice, this is an actor getting ready to prepare. It's a very serious moment. This is his close-up. He's getting ready. Now, you look at the intensity with which he focuses on. Go in deeper. Go into the soul. You can see the soul of the artist here at this moment. And he goes in. This is that tearful moment in this scene. You'll notice this in the movie later on. That tearful moment, the cock of the head, and you'll understand its significance later on.
The head of the cock.
Rude. He's rude.
Ready with cameras to line them up? Oh, we're waiting for another poll.
Good work. Carry on.
Cut.
Death order, or I'll find somebody who will.
Another target package, Captain.
You're relieved of your position. Cobb, get Mr. Hunter out of control.
I do not concur, sir. And I do
Get
not
Lieutenant
recognize
Zimmer in
your
here
ability
right
to
now.
Relieve me of under the Navy regulations operate.
Cobb,
fucking operating procedure.
arrest this man. Get him out of control right now.
No, you can't take me out. No, I don't. Oh, God.
Governing the release.
Yeah, I know what it is. I knew yesterday. I sure knew yesterday.
Especially while you're
64.
commanding
All
the
right. You're leading for this Lieutenant Zimmerman here now. Oh, Captain, sir, I do not concur and I do not recognize your authority to release me. Under Navy regulations.
Cobb, arrest this man. Get him out
Captain,
of here.
under
Right
operating procedures governing the release of nuclear weapons, we cannot launch our missiles unless both you and I
Cobb,
agree.
what are you
This is
waiting
not
for?
A formality, sir. This is not a formality. Is it expressly why your command must be repeated? I must give my assent, and I do not give it, sir. And furthermore, if you
Keep
continue
the vote.
upon this course,
Arrest
and
the
refuse
XO on the
to-
charge
to-
of mutiny.
without
I say
confirming this
again,
message,
you
I
have to
will be
arrest
forced
the XO
by
on the charge of
by
mutiny.
the rules of firm authority, command 0815, and relieve you of command.
The USS Alabama. Rebel-controlled missiles being fueled. Launch codes compromised. Dissidents threaten launch at continental United States. Set DEFCON 2. Immediately launch 10 Trident missiles. They're fueling their missiles. We don't have time to around.
Until you've had time to think this over.
I don't have to think it over.
I'm relieving you of your command. I am assuming command.
You're not assuming anything.
Cobb, escort the captain to his state. Cobb, the captain is under arrest. Lock him in his stateroom.
Now, Cobb! Aye, sir.
Casting a movie is like painting pictures, and that's my background. And you begin in a corner, and you put a color down, and you think of a vision of what the end product's going to be. But as you put each stroke down or each color down, one affects the other.
I mean, some people play their personalities. Well, both Denzel and Gene are capable of playing anybody, and yet they're still Denzel and Gene. You get everything with them. There's nothing they can't do, and it shows.
Okay, so maybe then where a lot of the character came for me was in the doing, finding out what it is that I do. Because there were entire scenes that were based upon what we're supposed to be doing in the sub, and you couldn't fake it, They had the real stuff there.
100 yards, 55 knots.
Arm torpedoes 2 and 4. Now. Arm torpedoes 2 and 4. Now.
Torpedoes armed, sir.
Rig ship for impact. 0 bubbles. Steady course 231.
Good. Rig ship for impact.
Rig ship for impact.
It got tough sometime, all these rightful rudders and strategic and this and that and missile blah, blah, blah.
Sonar, con. Give me exact range and making 1,000 yards.
It was cool, but I like that kind of stuff.
Launch 4 countermeasures. Countermeasures away, sir. Rig ship for impact. Rig ship for impact. Aye, sir.
What's important about the character is the fact that he was brought up in a Navy that tended not to over psychoanalyze both the personnel that he works with and the situations that he was given. His position about the new Navy is that there are gray areas that he doesn't believe in. He doesn't believe that there can be gray areas in the military.
You think it was a mistake, Mr. Hunter?
Sir?
Using the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Well, if I thought that, sir, I wouldn't be here.
Interesting way you put that.
How'd I put it, sir?
Very carefully.
This makes for an interesting character to play, somebody who is very direct about what they do and opinionated, very strong military man.
I think his dog gave me the final seal of approval.
He's crazy about that dog. Takes him everywhere. The Navy looks the other way because he's Ramsey.
Started to look for individuals, personalities, more than just great actors. I managed in the end, I managed to get great actors and different individuals, different personalities, so they were memorable.
It's a combination of Tony's great eye and our ability to spot really talented actors, and that kind of melds together. And when you see the young kids on this sub, I think the entire world will be impressed.
When we were doing our research and studying on what it takes to be a guy who goes underwater for 3 months, I got a certain sense of these men. It's much more family-like than I think any other branch of the service, which also allows for the schism when it does happen in the film to be very, very shattering.
Steve, hold it! Drop the weapon now!
They're fueling their missiles!
Scotch. Johnny, back, come here, man. Come here. That f***ing lamp sitting up there, we dressed that a while ago. See that orange lamp, get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay.
And also beyond that, I want to put some more cables, run a bunch of thin cables like that through there. See that corrugated one is back? Yeah. Give me a bunch of other ones here.
Okay.
Yeah.
John. Yeah. What exactly happened?
I know her professionally.
Well, you see, I was cueing some background, and one of the guys walked right in front of Gene on his line and blocked his line. So Tony just lashed out and punched me right in the face, right here. Said, "Don't ever do that again."
Nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Shot. You think all the support you're getting? Yeah, this is a pretty
Yeah, the
supportive bunch.
crew's very supportive. They've all put Band-Aids on their faces in my support, and I really appreciate it. I know they stand behind me, and hopefully I won't mess up and miscue the background again.
Background and action!
Fire's out of control.
You all right?
Almost hurt.
Hit the kill switch.
Couldn't get to it. Too hot.
I really enjoyed the scene that leads up to this big confrontation that Gene and I had.
Captain, National Military Command Center knows what sector we're in. They have satellites looking down on us to see if our birds are aloft, and if they're not, then they give our orders to somebody else. That's why we maintain more than one sub. It's what they call redundancy.
I know about redundancy, Mr. Henrick. It was a wonderful build from being reasonable to being totally out of control.
Cobb, arrest this man and get him out of here! Under operating procedures governing the release of nuclear weapons, we cannot launch our missiles unless both you and I agree.
When you're having an argument with something, if you're good at what you do, you always have some feeling about the other person. And that works for you. That works, for the audience.
I say again, I order you to place the XO under arrest on the charge of mutiny.
When the division happens within the ship, where you have two sides that are debating whether or not to launch a nuclear attack or not, it's a matter of seconds when people choose sides.
He's in command now. If they order him to launch, we'll launch. I won't blow them all to hell. But I'd rather go down myself and get this one wrong.
And the official thing to do would be to fire the missiles. If the first order says launch and the second order says don't launch, but it doesn't have the authentication code at the bottom, if it's not complete, you ignore the second order because it could be a dummy and you launch.
The character played by Denzel takes that one step further and decides for himself that that's not correct. When you're faced with death, you want to go with what you know. What we know is that the Navy says orders in hand and our captain is the man who should be in charge, so we get him out.
I think that I would make the same choices he made, given those circumstances. I think I would do what my character does in the film.
Give me the missile key, Mr. Hunter. I think people would probably respect him, whether or not he's right or wrong, what he does, that's something else. But you respect him for doing what he believes is right. He does it by the book.
That's what makes good drama. What if? What would you do?
2 singles. Now, give me.
Put a 2 on the stand inside.
Give me Sean here. Okay, good. Let's have a look, guys.
Yeah. I think. Can we send them down a little bit?
Yeah, let's slide.
Yeah, here we go.
It's a 2 and 2 singles one, yeah. So, Michael, slide downstream a bit. Can you? Good.
If
Hold
I
it
can
there.
put them a little bit of shadow so I can bring another light. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And when George go down.
Navy's problems with the story was the mutiny, and they say this would never happen on a nuclear sub today. It would never happen in the submariner force. If it would never happen, why do they train their guys in what would happen in the event of a mutiny? So obviously it's something that isn't very far from their minds.
When I would run my scenarios past the captains that I was interviewing, I could see their faces go white because what we were talking about having happened to the sub was scary. And you talk about it to a Hollywood executive and he goes, "Oh, great, that's great." But you talk about it to a sub captain and he thinks about the men on board and the boys that he's sailing out to sea with, and it is frightening.
It so happened in Top Gun, because it was a PG-13 picture, nobody was cussing, and there wasn't on-screen sex, whatever. So they said, "Oh, this picture is quote-unquote appropriate for us." They make arbitrary decisions that aren't arbitrary for them. We understand it. All's fair in love and war.
But it's just crazy. We're going to make this movie with or without Navy cooperation. I'm going to have a chase boat with 2 cameras on that, and the chase boat's going to chase the sub to a dive, and I've got a helicopter.
At least initially, we knew what a sub looked like. We had pictures of a sub, we had pictures of the interiors, and we made actual scale replicas of everything that they actually have inside that con and inside the submarine.
They thought that the image of the Navy may be tarnished, but on the contrary, I think that it's a real plus for the Navy, because it means that the system that the Navy established actually does work.
Movies are full of obstacles, and that was just one big general one that made everybody be a little more inventive.
The kind of the climax of the film for us was the implosion of the Akula, and it had to get hit from one of the Alabama torpedoes. But unlike other films we've never seen a submarine actually explode and then implode as it really would on screen. I think it took basically three types of technology. It took motion-controlled dry-for-wet technology, which means we take the miniatures that we've built and put them on a stage and shoot them with computers controlling the cameras and the models, and with the use of smoke in the room and lighting effects, we give the illusion that we're underwater. The Akula model was actually photographed underwater, wet for wet, which is where we actually place the miniatures in the water and shoot them underwater. The whole thing takes place on screen in about 6 seconds, but in real life, it takes place in 1/4 of a second.
Now, when I had you and Gene up there, and you were feeling those violent moves, that's what we were on. Oh, what the gimbal is it's a hydraulic mechanism that we engineered and designed solely for the purpose of simulating what a submarine movement would be like.
Con, sonar, incoming torpedoes bearing 086! They must have got one off before they got hit, sir!
Right full rudder, launch starboard countermeasure.
Countermeasure away, dive! Make your depth 1,200 feet! 20 down, now! Take a deep! Full dive on those planes! Let's go! Hang on, everybody!
Well, the gimbal was difficult because we were walking at this severe angle and trying to do a scene at the same time. So it was tough, but it added a certain realistic feeling to the picture that I think is indispensable.
Well, you know, the sets have been unbelievable, and just the way that Tony's shooting it, I think, is really fantastic, and the angles and a lot of motion.
4 firemen get into the kitchen, and then they get cut off from safety by this explosion, which is this freezer door. There is some danger involved, but it's mainly not the danger aspect. It's just there's a lot of elements that you got to coordinate to put together, so it's time-consuming just getting each set up. But it's an interesting sequence because a fire in a submarine is obviously your worst nightmare.
Background! And action! Oh. Go, move! Switch! Couldn't get to it, too hot!
My challenge each day is to, no matter how small it is to try and do something fresh or different from what I've done before, whether it's something I get from a performance or from a look or from an angle, or it's just something, and at the end of a good day, I feel as I've achieved something that I haven't done before.
You want to work with people you like, and that's one of the reasons we revisited the world of Tony for the 4th time, because Tony's an absolute pleasure. He's just a great guy. When you go onto a set that Tony Scott's running, and he's great in the field commanding men. He's like a world-class general.
Well, he's cool, man. You know, he's got a crew that he's worked with a lot, and it really makes it real easy for the cast, real easy for me, real simple. He's very accommodating, you know, obviously very talented. So I was glad that, you know, I mean, a part of the decision of me making the decision to do the film was that Tony was directing it, because this is the kind of stuff that he can make sing and fly.
Well, I think, you know, Tony we're fortunate enough to have got him 4 times. You know, he's, in my mind, one of the most talented directors working today.
So go again. Finning's recommencing. This guy's trapped down there, sir.
Get him out and seal the bay. Try and get those men out of there as soon as you can and seal that bay.
Sir, if we don't seal the bilge bay now, we'll lose the ship.
Not get scared! Come on, you gotta come! Move! Come on! You can do it! Move it!
You know, I want this checkerboard of words going backwards and forwards. Then I'm going to go quiet with Denzel. And it's like the whole world's going to drop away. That's his moment of decision.
Bilge bay, Con, seal that bay.
Guys, let's go! Come on, I gotta close the hatch!
Don and Jerry make films that are escapist in the best sense. They swoop you up in the drama of a situation.
Sir, tip the rudder to left ball. I'm ready on the thing.
What I'd like to do is drop somebody in an environment We make movies we call process movies, where you become a submariner. You know exactly what Denzel Washington has to do for his day. You know how these men live on these ships. You will learn what the commands are. You will understand that every command has to be echoed. It's an exciting part of our world, and we want to live it.
I was impressed with them because Jerry's really hands-on and he's honest too. I can see why he's become very successful.
It's very important. I like them very much. You know, I spend a lot of time with them, and I feel very comfortable with them. So I feel that I can, you know, say what I think, and they say what they think to me. So there's no, you know, there's no politics between us.
It's got to be about something. It must. It can't just be an arena. It can't just be some characters that are interesting. It can't be just flash action or pyrotechnics. It's got to be about something. And then it's got to be placed in an environment that Jerry and I would like to travel to or live in for a while. Because we have to do it as producers, and as people who go to movies, it's something we would want to visit.
Whether it's Top Gun or Days of Thunder or Beverly Hills Cop, those are all movies that we were excited about only because we put our hand in our buttered popcorn and want to sit there and enjoy this type of picture.
So we want to transport you when you see one of our movies, take you from your everyday life and take you into this world where you're lost for a couple of hours.
One day I own a car like that, but this is actually Tony's car. And, you know, part of the contract, the reason I got the job, I told him that every Wednesday I'd wash his car. So Wednesday, taking the car to the car wash. You know, I think Tony will be pleased. I'm not really getting paid for this film, but that's okay because every Wednesday I get to drive this car. So, you know, the director makes all the money, and I'm making a movie.
We're all making it.
You're gonna be ready in 15 minutes?
After we're back from work.
Wait, you know, come here. Now, bend down. Look, you see the camera there?
Yeah. Thank you.
So, as I was saying,
Have a wonderful one.
one day, you know, when I grew up, I'm as old as Tony, which would be in about 35, 40 years, I guess I'll catch up with him. He's really a nice director, though. He's a fine man. What's his name again? Tony. Tony's my best friend. You know, Tony Curtis, Tony Smith. Tony Scott. Yeah, Tony Scott. He's, you know, he's made some great films. I haven't seen any of them, but... No, he has made some good films. Yeah. What did he make that was good?
Top Gun.
He made Top Gun?
He made Top Gun.
I heard Tom Cruise directed Top
Gun. No. That was the other one. The one with the motor cars.
Oh.
Days of Thunder.
Did Tony direct that?
No, I think Tom Cruise directed that one.
You like the guy?
Oh.
When I met him, he was 115 pounds.
115 pounds. He likes to feed me. Hi.